Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shrine of Remembrance. It's great to see so many family and friends and guests, and of course the public sitting up there on the steps. My name is Colonel Jason Cook and I'm a Shrine Governor, and my role tonight is to be your MC. On behalf of the Shrine Trustees and of course the Commanding Officer of the Melbourne University Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Claire Baker, welcome to their annual parade, held here at this iconic place of reflection and commemoration. The shrine is built on the lands of the Bungarong people of the Kulin Nation, and I wish to acknowledge them as the traditional owners. Defence and the shrine recognises their continuing connection to the traditional lands and waters, and would like to pay our respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging, and extend our respect to any Aboriginal peoples who may be here today. Today we celebrate the achievements of the men and women of the Melbourne University Regiment, who have once again performed to an exceptional standard over another busy year. I would like to please remind everyone to have their phones on silent. Photos are always very welcomed, and just for your own information, we are being live streamed this afternoon. Shortly, the regiment will mount parade. This will be done by the Regimental Sergeant Major, who is Warrant Officer Class 1, Maurice Owinga. He is the senior enlisted member of the unit, and he will march the markers of each company to their allocated position. The RSM will now march on the regiment. The regiment is marching to their regimental march, which is the Thin Red Line, which was approved in 1953. The RSM can be identified by the pace stick under his arm. The pace stick is used to measure the correct length of pace. Rhythm and uniformity in marching is achieved by using the pace stick, as well as the drum and the metronome. The drill they're performing is known as dressing the regiment, and when it's ready, the RSM will hand over to the adjutant. This evening, the adjutant is Captain Rowan Hurst. The adjutant will now take command of the parade. The adjutant is a military appointment given to an officer who assists the commanding officer with the unit administration. mostly the management of human resources and its responsibility for overseeing the junior commissioned officers. The adjutant is now marching on the unit officers on the parade, and as tradition, would salute before they march on. This is done in readiness for the arrival of the CO. Now that the adjutant has taken command of the regiment, he hands over to the 2IC, second in command, who this evening is Major Jason Eltham. Now that everything is in readiness, the 2IC will hand over the commanding officer. The regiment is now ready to receive the reviewing officer, which this evening is the Commander of 4 Brigade, Brigadier Michelle Campbell. The reviewing officer will now be requested to inspect the regiment. As the reviewing officer conducts the inspection, I will provide you with an explanation of the drill movements just performed, known as present arms. The present arms is a drill move carried out by all members of the parade and dates back to the 1660s, where, on his return from France to England to claim the throne, King Charles II was confronted by Colonel Monk's Coldstream Regiment. Upon accepting the allegiance of the regiment, a command of present your weapons for service under His Majesty was given. Every man in the unit held forward his musket or pike at arm's length and at the high port position. The order, ground your weapons, was given, followed by, in His Majesty's cause, recover your weapons. The King was so pleased with the ceremony of surrendering weapons into his service that he ordered the present arms to be a feature of all future inspections as a mark of respect. I would also like to take this time to provide you a brief history of the Melbourne University Regiment and its current functions. Melbourne University Regiment traces its origins to 1884 as D Company, 4th Battalion of the Victorian Rifles, also known as the Mount Alexander Rifles, founded in Bendigo on the 30th of June 1858, at which time it was known as the University Company. General Sir John Monash was a colour sergeant of this unit before taking a commission in the colonial and later Commonwealth militia. The unit became the Melbourne University Rifles in 1910, providing military training for members of Melbourne University and public schools of Melbourne and Geelong. During the Second World War, the regiment was disbanded. This occurred in 1942. In the post-war structure of the Australian Army, the University Rifles was reformed as the present Melbourne University Regiment, officially raised on the 1st of April 1948. Currently, Melbourne University Regiment is responsible for training of all Army Reserve officer cadets and other ranks. MUR consists of 3 subunits. These are Monash Company, Herring Company, and the Roden Company. Melbourne University Regiment conducts training at 3 separate locations. Ops Cadet training at the former Monash University Regiment in Mount Waverley, Regimental Headquarters and Training Company located in the Grattan Street Carlton Depot, and Regional Induction Centre at Simpson Barracks. It is one of the busiest reserve units in Victoria, where it conducts training courses throughout the year. In 2013, the Monash University Regiment was disbanded and absorbed into the Melbourne University Regiment. Currently, the company responsible for administration and training of officer cadets is known as Monash Company, signifying its connections to the Monash University Regiment. At the conclusion of the inspection, the reviewing officer will make her way back in front of the parade and the regiment will prepare to conduct a drill movement called Advance in Review Order. You will see the regiment as a whole march 15 paces, halt, and then present arms. This drill movement dates back to the 1880s. Prior to 1788, the tactical training of infantry units was mainly left to the individual commander's discretion, there being little guidance from superiors. This had obviously disadvantages, namely the capability of each unit was developed or not, according to an individual commander's skill. Forthright and thoroughness. Likewise, the task of the general in the field was made more difficult by not knowing the relative capabilities and methods of the units. In 1788, a manual was produced by one David Dundas, which laid down the detailed 18 manoeuvres to be carried out by all infantry units. These manoeuvres were designed in combat in the most efficient manner, the tactical moves of an enemy both in attack and in defence. As an enemy was finally defeated by offensive action, the 18th movers was the attack in line and consisted of an advance followed by a volley to the right, a volley to the left, with a further advance followed by 2 volleys to the front. At the annual review of colours were then brought to the front. The unit advanced 50 paces and finished the review by presenting arms to signify that the manoeuvres had ended and that they had been carried out with no offensive spirit towards the reviewing general. It is this last movement which is nowadays, as part of the great tradition, known as an advance in review order. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the general salute. Thank you. You can now be seated. The Melbourne University will now pay its respects to all fallen service personnel by laying a wreath. This will be followed by the reading of the Ode and the playing of the last post, 1 minute silence, reveille, and the Australian National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are able, please be upstanding, and all non-military members kindly remove your headdress. During the last post and for the playing of the Australian National Anthem, all members not on parade are required to salute. The first post and last post came into being in the early part of the 19th century. The first post was sounded at the orderly officer, the orderly sergeant, and a drummer with a bugle started the tattoo. They then marched from post to post with the drummer beating his drum. Upon reaching the final post, the drummer would sound the last post. This is why drummers also carry a bugle. Reveille was the French word for wake up, which in turn came from the Latin watch, was originally played as a drum beat just prior to daybreak. Its twofold purpose was to wake up the sleeping soldiers and to let the sentries know that they could ease challenging. It was also a signal to open the town gates and to let out the horse guard, allowing them to do a reconnaissance of the immediate area beyond the walls. Shrine Guard, mount. The Shrine Guard, a brief history. After the opening of the shrine in 1934, and then the Commissioner of Police, Thomas Blamey, appointed a select group of men to look after the shrine. From the 250 Victorian police who applied, 14 highly decorated veterans of the First World War were chosen. Presently, the Shrine Guard is recruited from the Victorian Police Protective Services, trained in military drill. Guards provide security and ceremonial support. The Shrine Guards proudly wear the uniform of the Light Horse. I now call upon Major James Carroll to move forward and lay the wreath at the eternal flame on behalf of Melbourne University Regiment.
They shall grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
Please remain standing while we sing the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You now be seated. Shrine Guard, dismount. Today, the members and former members of the Monash Company who will be presented with an award. The awards being presented today are sponsored by the Melbourne University Rifles Association and the Victorian Veterans Council on behalf of the Australian Army Training Team Vietnam Victoria Association. Miss Anne McDonald is invited to present the award with the reviewing officer. Jan McDonald is the daughter of Jim McDonald, a former CEO of Melbourne University Regiment. The J.A. McDonald Award is presented to the officer cadet for the most outstanding contribution to the Melbourne University Regiment throughout their participation during training blocks 4 and 5. This year, the J.A. McDonald Award is presented to Lieutenant Kevin Kingsley-Pilley. Well done. The next award is the Ted Sarong Award. This will be presented to the newly commissioned officer from Melbourne University Regiment who has achieved the overall best results on Training Block 5 at the Royal Military College Duntroon. I invite Lieutenant Colonel Murray Duckworth, the President of the Melbourne University Rifles Association, to assist in the presentation of the award. This year's winner of the Ted Sarong Award is Lieutenant Vishal Ramesh. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And while I ask the Commander 4th Brigade to come over to the lectern to give her her address, let's thank the recipients of all awards and, of course, the newly graduated officers.
Honorary Colonel of MUR, the Honourable Justice Major General Guard, AO, RFD. Melbourne University Rifles Association. Distinguished guests, family, friends, our graduates. To all of you, a very warm welcome tonight. The Australian Defence Force's newest officers graduated from RMC in Canberra, so congratulations. But not everyone can make it to Canberra, so it's fitting that MUR, the parent university regiment, holds their own service so family, friends, peers and colleagues can celebrate and congratulate the graduates. So I thank you for your attendance tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, service in the reserve has unique demands. We often balance two careers, maintain personal relationships, and undertake ongoing education. And at times we have to prioritise this, and it can be challenging. But these young officers are the ADF's future, and they've been given a framework of attributes covering ethics, behaviours, standards, history, customs and traditions, and many more. To the graduates, to get here tonight, you've been living the Defence First value of service. Your task now is to further develop your leadership, underpinned by all the Defence values. Let them guide all your decisions. The MUR staff have played a vital role in preparing you for graduation. They have seen you trained and comprehensively assessed, and they have assured that you are indeed suitable to become a leader, empowered to make decisions, give orders and lead competently. Their efforts in equipping you with these attributes is very much appreciated. Each graduating class is faced with differing contemporary issues, and this graduation comes at a time of significant global instability. Our defence environment is dynamic, integrated and focused, and will be faced with many challenges and opportunities. Seize them, enjoy leading our most precious asset, soldiers, and add to the enviable record and status that our ADF enjoys. As platoon commanders, there is an emphasis on preparedness and readiness for operations. Your mindset must be fight tonight, leading your soldiers by example. Our centre line is foundation warfighting, and we step off that centre line for operations, tasks that the government of the day direct us to do. As an example, reservists from the 4th Brigade are currently doing a magnificent job securing our borders in the north on transit security element operation. We also have troops in Rifle Company Butterworth in Malaysia. And most recently, a few people have deployed to the Regional Force Surveillance Group on Rotation 8 as our screen for Homeland Defence. These opportunities, Lieutenants, are now yours. So go forth and honour the mottos, grow in the esteem of our future generations and continue learning. In conclusion, congratulations on your achievements. I wish you the very best for your career in the Australian Defence Force, wherever it will take you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating our newest graduates. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the General Salute. The reviewing officer will now symbolically be driven off the parade. Be seated, everyone, please. The CO will now hand back command to the 2IC and will reverse the order upon which they mounted. After taking control of the parade, the 2IC will hand over to the adjutant. Upon mounting, the adjutant will dismiss the officers and hand over to the RSM. Great example of teamwork. Well done, RSM. The RSM is now preparing the regiment to march off. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a rounding of applause for the wonderful drill they've done this evening. Well done, MUR. Keep that applause going for the members of the 5-6 Pipes and Drums who supported the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the parade and I welcome you all to please remain in location. The regiment will be conducting post-parade administration and members will be returning to their location shortly. Thank you for your attendance.